In the previous class, we have started with an example of design of chimney. So, so we are supposed to design a chimney of height 70 meter, having external diameter 4 meter at the top and 4.8 meter at the bottom. The thickness of the shell at the top is 200 mm and at the base it is 400 mm. The wind intensity is 1.8 kN per meter square, acting throughout uniformly. The thickness of the fire brick lining is 100 mm. This is fire brick lining shown hatched with red color, so that is 100 mm. And the air gap between the brick lining and the concrete shell is also 100 mm. The temperature difference is 70 degrees Celsius. So the inside temperature and the outside temperature difference is 70 degrees Celsius. And the coefficient of thermal expansion alpha is 11 into 10 to the power minus 6 per degree Celsius. ES, that is Young's modulus of steel, is 210 into 10 to the power 3 Newton per meter square. Unit weight of brick lining is given as 20 kilonewton per meter cube, and the grade of the concrete is M25 and grade of steel is Fe415. So first step is to calculate the load. So we calculate the loads at the base section because the maximum stress will be at the base. So again, this is the first case which we discussed in the theory part, that is the the stresses due to the self-weight and wind load. So we first find the stresses due to self-weight and wind load. So we calculate the loads. So the average diameter of the shell at the top. So at the top we have 4 meter external diameter and 3.6 meter internal diameter. So the average diameter will be 3.8 meter. Similarly, the average diameter at the base, it is 4.8 meter at the is the external diameter and 4 meter is the internal diameter. So the average diameter is 4.4. So the average diameter at the mid height will be the average of these two. So it is 4.1 meter. So the average diameter of the shell at the mid height is 4.1 meter. Then the average thickness of the shell, it is 0.2 at the top and 0.4 at the base. So average thickness of the shell at mid height will be equal to 0.3. So you can find the weight of the shell, which will be pi dt into h. So pi, average diameter, into its thickness into height multiplied by density of the concrete. It is 6762.3 kilonewton. Same way, we'll find the weight of the brick lining. So the diameter of the brick lining at mid height is 4.1 is the average diameter at the mid height of concrete shell, minus half the thickness of the concrete shell, minus air gap, and minus half the thickness of brick lining. So you will get the diameter of the brick lining at the mid height. Then the thickness of the brick lining at the mid height is 0.1. So you can find the weight pi dt into h into the unit weight of the brick lining. So pi, average diameter, and 0.2 is 0.1 is the thickness and 70 is the height. So it comes out to be 1671.3 kilonewton. So the total dead load at the base section will be 6762.3 plus 1671.3, that is Total is 8,433.6 kilonewton. Now, for the wind load calculation, the intensity of wind pressure is given as 1.8 kilonewton per meter square. Now, the effective frontal area is uh, the 4 meter at the top and 4.8 meter at the base. So the wind will obstruct on this area. So average uh, width is 4.4 meter. Okay, and multiply by height 70. So that is the effective frontal area. So the average height, that is 4.4 into 70, it gives you 308 meters square. Then the shape factor for circular section is 0.7. So wind load is 0.7 into 1.8, that is intensity of wind pressure, and multiply by effective frontal area. So it comes out to be 388.08 kilometer. Now this wind load acts at the mid height. So it is at 70 by 2, that is 35 meter from the base. So the moment due to this wind load will be 388.08, that is the wind force acting at the midpoint, mid height, multiplied by the lever arm distance, that is 35. So it gives 13582.8 kilonewton meter. So the eccentricity will be moment divided by the vertical load. So it is 1.610 meter, that is 1610 mm. Now the next step is to find the position of the neutral axis and the reinforcements. So let us assume 1% vertical reinforcement. So at the base section, 1% steel will be 55 to 92 mm square. So let us provide 25 mm bar. So we require 113 numbers. So let us provide 115 numbers of 25 mm bar diameter. That will give you AS as 56,450 mm square. Now the equivalent thickness of the steel ring will be this area of the steel provided divided by the perimeter pi d. So the equivalent thickness of the steel ring comes out to be around 4 mm. Now from all these calculations, we have the thickness of the steel ring, we have the thickness of the concrete shell 400 mm, we have the modular ratio. Modular ratio given, the grade of concrete is given to us. So for M25 grade, sigma CBC is 8.5 Newton per mm square. So modular ratio will be 11. Then R, the radius of the diameter at the base, at the average diameter at the base. So that is 2200, and the eccentricity is 1610 mm. Now we know this formula. Eccentricity is equals to R times Tc minus Ts sine 2 alpha by 4 plus pi minus alpha by 2 plus m times Ts by 2 times pi whole divided by Tc minus Ts sine alpha plus pi minus alpha cos alpha plus m Ts pi cos alpha. So this is we have derived in our theory class. This, so this we have derived. Now from this equation, we know the eccentricity, we know the Tc, Ts, we know modular ratio, so we know value of R. So only thing not known to us is alpha. So by trial and error, we put the value of alpha, so that this value, calculated value, gives the value of eccentricity. And if this calculated value is same as the actual eccentricity, that is 1610, then that alpha value is okay. Okay, so by trial and error, we tried different alpha value, and finally we found that alpha equals to 67 gives you eccentricity of 1610, same as your actual eccentricity. So we then substitute the value of alpha as 67 and find the find the stresses in concrete and steel. So we also know W is equals to this, the expression for W is this, which is given here. This W is equals to 2R sigma C by 1 plus cos alpha Tc minus Ts whole multiplied by sin alpha plus pi minus alpha cos alpha plus m times Ts cos alpha. Now we know the value of alpha, so we can substitute the value of all the known values, so we can get the value of sigma C. Now we know that W is equals to 2R sigma C divided by 1 plus cos alpha whole multiplied by Tc minus Ts multiply by sin alpha plus pi minus alpha cos alpha plus m times Ts by cos alpha. So now here we will find this sigma C, because we know the value where W is equals to, W is already we have calculated, the total dead weight is 8433.3.6, 8433.6 kilonewton. Then we know the value of R. R is 2200. Then we know the value of alpha. Alpha we have just by trial and error we found alpha at 67. Then we know Tc is equals to 400 mm. Ts is equals to 4 mm, and the modular ratio is equals to 11. So we can substitute all these values to get the value of sigma C. So therefore 8433.6, it is in kilonewton, so convert it into Newton into 10 to the power 3 is equals to 2 into 2200 into sigma C whole divided by 1 plus cos 67 multiplied by 400 minus 4 multiplied by sin 67 plus pi minus alpha. Now alpha in this is in degree, so in radian alpha will be equal to 67 into pi by 180, so that will be around 1.169 radian. Okay, what we have done, alpha is in degree, so 67 into pi by 180, by multiplying this will convert into radian, 1.169 radian. So pi minus 1.169, okay, into cos 67 plus modular ratio is 11, ds is 4 multiplied by pi multiplied by cos 67. So you can find this sigma c will be equal to 4833.6 multiplied by 10 to the power 3 multiplied by 1 plus cos 67 divided by 2 into 2200 4 multiplied by 400 minus 4 multiplied by sin 67 plus 5 minus so it will give you the stresses as 3.951 Newton per mm square. This is the stress in concrete, so uh, which is less than sigma CBC, that is the permissible uh, stress in concrete due to bending compression. So that value is 8.5 Newton per mm square. So it is okay. Now from this sigma C value, we find the stress in steel. So sigma S is equal to sigma S is equals to m times sigma C into 1 plus cos alpha by 1 plus 1 minus cos alpha by 1 plus cos alpha. So it is m times sigma C times 1 minus cos alpha divided by 1 plus cos alpha. So this will be 11 into 11 into 3.951 into 1 minus cos 67 divided by 1 plus cos 67. So that will be, so it is around 19.04 Newton per mm square. Again, this value is less than permissible stress in concrete, that is sigma st, which is 230 Newton per mm square. Therefore, okay. So the stresses due to self weight and wind load are within the permissible limit. Okay. Now we have to check the stresses for the combined effects of self weight, wind load, and temperature. So next part is check for combined stresses due to self weight, wind load, and temperature effects. So again, we have to consider two cases. First is wind acting on leeward side. We have derived two derivations for wind leeward side as well as for the windward side. So first we consider the leeward side. Now from our earlier calculation, Tc is equals to 400 mm, Ts is equals to 4 mm, then okay, wait a minute, before that let us check the hoop stress also. So the horizontal stress in the horizontal reinforcement due to sulfate and wind load, then we'll go to this part. Next is the stress in horizontal reinforcement, that is hoop steel. So the so if you remember the theory class, we have found the stresses in the horizontal reinforcement, which is given by sigma s is equals to h into s by 2 a5 by d1, where d1 is the distance between the reinforcements on two sides. So the shear at the base of the chimney h is equal to, we have found this h, the wind load. This wind load is the horizontal uh, load, so which will be shear for the horizontal reinforcement. So that is 388.08, 388.08 kilonewton. Then we require the lever arm distance. So lever arm is the is d1 which is equal to the diameter minus 2 times cover. So at the base, as we are finding the shear at the base, so we find the lever arm distance of the section at the base. So at the base, diameter, external diameter is 4800 minus, let us assume 50 mm cover, so minus 2 into 50, so that will be 4700 mm. Assuming 50 mm effective cover. Okay, so see, because of this UDL, the maximum shear will be at the base, which is at the support location of the cantilever. Okay, so the reinforcement which is provided at an effective cover of 50 mm from the outer face, so it will be 4800 minus 50 on each side, so that will be 4700 mm is the D1, that is lever arm distance. And let us provide 10 mm bar at 200 cm as hoop steel. So we know sigma s is equals to h times d, or h times s, h times s by 2 a5 by d1. The expression we have derived in our theory classes, this one, sigma s is equals to hs by 2 a5 by d1. So hs is 388.08 into 10 to the power 3 in Newton, multiplied by spacing is 200 mm, whole divided by 2 into A5, where A5 is the area of the reinforcement. We are providing 10 mm bar diameter, so it will be 5 by 4 into 10 square, which is equal to 78.54 mm square, to multiply by 78.54 into D1, that is 4700. So therefore, sigma s, which is the stress in the hoop steel, will be equal to 388.08 into 10 to the power 3 multiplied by 200 divided by 2 into 78.5 multiplied by 4700. So it is around 105 105.13 Newton per mm square. Again, this value is less than the permissible stress in steel, that is sigma st, which is equals to 230 Newton per mm square. So okay, so the stresses in both vertical steel as well as the horizontal steel are okay, as well as the stresses in concrete are also within permissible limit. So now we'll check for the combined effects. Check for combined stresses due to sulfate, wind load, and temperature effects. Okay, and we'll first see the levered case. So on the levered side, we have Tc is equals to 400 mm, Ts is equals to 4 mm. Then we know the effective effective cover we have considered as 50 mm. So your A times Tc, which is the distance of the steel from the inner face, which is the distance of steel from inner side is equal to 400 minus 50, that is 350. So from this you can find A. Therefore A times Tc is equals to 350, implies A is equals to 350 by Tc, and Tc is 400. So you will get A, which is a factor by which or which is a fraction by which uh, the steel is located with respect to the thickness. So this factor will be 350 divided by 400, that is 0.875, because we need this factor A in some of our calculations. Then we percentage steel, is equal to, we know that Ts is equals to P times Tc, so we can write P is equals to Ts by Tc, and Ts is 4 mm and Tc is 400, 4 by 400, which is equal to 0.01. So that is 1%, which we have assumed earlier. Then we have been given the value of alpha, that is the coefficient of thermal expansion. It is 11 into 10 to the power minus 6 per degree Celsius, that is given. Then the modular ratio we have found it as 11 from the grade of the concrete and steel. Then ES is given to us. ES is 210 into 10 to the power 3 Newton per mm square, that is given to us. So from this we can find EC is equals to ES by modular ratio, that is 210 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 11. So This 19,090.9 Newton per mm square. This is from the relation. We know that modular ratio is equals to ES by EC. Okay. So now we have all this. So using the equation we have derived in our theory class, so combined effects of sulfate, wind load and temperature, and the leeward case. On the leeward side, we have derived this sigma C is equals to sigma C1, which is the uniform stress due to sulfate and wind load, which is already calculated in our earlier calculation. 1 plus m minus 1p divided by k by 2 minus mp a minus k. Now here, in both, for finding the stress in concrete and steel, we need k, and to obtain the value of the k, we have to use this expression. Okay, so from this expression, we can find the value of the k by solving a quadratic equation, and then we substitute the values of this k in sigma c and sigma s to get the stresses due to the combined effects. So we know that sigma C1, now here sigma C1 is equal to sigma C1 is equal to sigma C of sigma C obtained from C. It is the uniform stress, uniform stress due to sulfate and wind load. So from the calculation of sulfate and wind load case, the stress we obtained is 3951. So that will be our uniform stress, 3.951 Newton per mm square, which is obtained from earlier calculation for case 1. Print from earlier calculations. Okay. Now we know that sigma C1 into 1 plus m minus 1 into t whole divided by k square by 2 minus m p into a minus k is equal to alpha t times EC. Okay, this we obtained in our theory class. This one. Okay, that is equation number 7. Now in this equation, we know the value of sigma C1, M, P, alpha, T, EC. So the only unknown is K. Okay. So here alpha is 11 into 10 to the power minus 6. Temperature difference T is also given to us. Temperature T is given to us as 70 degrees Celsius. this 70 degrees Celsius. So multiply by 70 multiply by EC, which is equals to 19090.9. Okay, so therefore sigma C1 is 3.951 multiplied by 1 plus 11 minus 1 times P, which is 0.01, whole divided by K square by 2 minus 11 into 0.01 multiplied by A is 0.875 minus K. Okay, it is waiting 0.875, A is 0.875 minus K. Now here, and this is equal to 11 into 10 to the power minus 6 into 70 into 190.9. So we can write K square by 2 minus this value, that is 11 into 0.01. So it is minus into minus, this will be plus, so plus 0.11 K, and this we can write it as 0.5 K square plus 0.11 K minus this term 11 into 0.11 into 0.875, so that is minus 0.09625 will be equal to, we take this on the right side and we divide this term with this term, so we will get this. So 3.951 multiplied by 1 plus 11 minus 1, that is 10 into 0.01 4 divided by 11 into 10 to the power minus 6 multiplied by 70 multiplied by 190.9. So that is 0.29 0.2957. So your final quadratic equation will be of form 0.5 K square plus 0.11 K minus 0.3919 equal to 0. Okay, so this is a quadratic form of ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. So you can find the value of x by solving this quadratic equation. So that is here, by solving this you will get the value of k as 0.78 0.782. Okay, now you have the value of k, so you can find the stress in concrete. Stress in concrete sigma c is equal to sigma c1 . this equation. Sigma C1 times 1 plus m minus 1 p by k by 2 minus mp a minus k by k, and sigma s, that is stress in steel, is equals to m sigma c a minus k by k. Sigma c into 1 plus m minus 1 into p whole divided by k by 2 minus m p into a minus k by k. So this will be equal to 3.951 into 1 plus modular ratio is 11 minus 1 into 0.01 whole divided by k, that is 0.782 by 2 minus m is 11, p is 0.01 into a is, the value of a is 0.875 minus the value of k is 0.782 divided by 0.782. Okay, so you will get, therefore sigma c is equal to 3.951 multiplied by 1 plus 10 into 0.01 divided by 0.782 by 2 minus 11 into 0.01 multiplied by 0.875 minus 0.782 divided by 0.782. That is 11.5. Newton per mm square. Again, this is less than sigma CBC, which is equals to, wait a minute, 1.33 times 8.5, or it is very close to this 33% increase. 1.33 into 8.5, which is around 11.30 Newton per mm square. Slightly increase, the stresses are slightly increased, but that can be in that can be we can increase the steel to get this stress within the limit. It will slightly increase the steel, it will be okay. Here 33% increase is allowed by the code for wind load case. %33 increase 33% increase in in permissible stress. Permissible stress when wind load is considered. When wind load is considered. Okay, next we can find sigma s. So sigma s is given by m times sigma c multiplied by a minus k by k 11 into 11.5 into a is 0.875 minus k is 0.782 divided by 0.782. So this stress will be equal to 11 into 11.5 multiplied by 0.875 minus 0.782 divided by 0.782. That is 15.04 Newton per mm square. Again, this is less than sigma st of 230 Newton per mm square. So it is okay. Now the next case is the windward side. So for windward side, we'll use this equation to find the value of k, and once the value of k is known, we can then find the value of sigma c and sigma s, which are given by these expressions. Okay, so same as leeward side, but with different formula derived in our theory class. We'll find the stress in concrete and steel for the windward case. So, but we stop here, and in the next class we'll discuss this the stresses in the windward side. Okay, so let's stop here. If you have any doubt, we can discuss now.